We have MATIC versus the dollar. We are looking at, we're actually going to do a general overview of this one. This is going to be requested by Mr. J3F of our lovely community. Still operating on, I imagine, higher lows on the daily, and very, very similar to Bitcoin, right? If you are bullish, you're expecting this to be a higher low right here, pretty much right at this level. If you start to lose about 130, about 138, it's going to start to look a lot more nasty with a retest of prior lows and probably, well, an overall reversal. But for right now, I still do, I always run with the prior trend until proven otherwise, and Bitcoin is in a more bouncy posturing as well. And in this case, it's probably not going to happen today, but if you are going to see a higher low printed here on the daily, you'd see something, something resembling a closure like this, hanging around the 21 for today. And then tomorrow, you want to see a trade above whatever the high of today is. And then at that point, you're going to be looking at this as a higher low. I imagine that comes alongside hidden bullish evidence on the daily. You would have obvious hidden bullish evidence right here, actually exaggerated lower lows on daily RSI with higher lows on price action, which would look good. And again, this pullback is all coming on declining volatility. So when you see something like that, you expect contraction essentially means consolidation, and consolidation within the context of a trend means higher lows. That would be your higher low right there. If that starts to happen, I start to look for this one to trudge its way back upwards and onwards towards the highs of this rally at like 160 to 165 or so, with very likely an upside resolution later into like early September. Anyway, short-term timeframes right here, as you did request. What are we looking at? Well, a little bit of short-term bouncy. Wouldn't mind it to pop back up to 146.5. But here's your confirmation of of a nice little short-term, well, it's not even a short-term track because this one doesn't really reverse here, but anywhere back above this last little 4-hour high at about 153 or so is where this one really starts to look good on a short-term time frame. Again, I don't think that happens today, but if it were to happen today, that'd probably be great for the longs right here. More importantly, if we go put this on our momentum charts, hopefully for the BULAs, you do see short-term time frame starting to turn up right now. And do we? 6-hour will turn up with any sort of a closure above 140. Okay, very interesting. That's just 1 cent away. 4-hour will be turning up with any sort of a closure above 137. So you're clean 2 cents above that right now. Bi-hourly will show upside momentum as long as above 137 as well. And hourly will show we are probably already up, and we'll be trudging up as long as it's above 138. So looking good right there. Short term, yes, very likely up. Would be looking tentatively speaking somewhere around about $1.45 or so. You do something like this to get tentative targets, even on a even on like a lower high bounce, and that would be very, very likely between about 145 to 147 or so. But I give this one a chance, man, because the daily is actually a bit of a setup right there. And again, my personal rules, which may or may not be relevant to you, is to go with the daily trend until proven otherwise. And in this case, and in Bitcoin's case, that is still suggesting at the very least we bounce off this region. And then if you are bearish, you're looking for a lower high. If you are bullish, you're looking for it to kind of trade sideways and up through past that prior lower high at 155, and that look pretty good, pretty damn good for the long term. Now, if it were to choose a downside route, which is obviously possible, although I would give this one a chance first and foremost, I would be looking at a move, confirmation below about 130, and then a move all the way down to like 105, 110 region. But for right now, it still looks okay on a daily. Let's see what the weekly looks like. A little bit anemic right there, not the best. That would be the bearish view. 5 days, still kind of your bullish hopium, I suppose. But literally needs to bounce here. If you do start to see a break below there, then these targets are going to be, well, turn into downside targets there. But for now, again, it's kind of similar to yesterday and the day prior. Best case for BULAs, sideways, sideways within this region with a little bit of short term up, and that looked pretty damn good. Hopefully that was helpful, sir.